In 2021, the world held its breath when NASA launched the James Webb Space Telescope. The images it sent back broke the internet. But here is what nobody told you. NASA has already been building something bigger, something that can see 100 times more sky than James Webb in a single shot. A telescope so powerful that scientists believe it will answer questions about the universe that we have not even been able to ask yet. It is called the Nancy Grace Roman Space Telescope, and it launches in just months. This changes everything. Before we talk about what this telescope can do, let us talk about the woman it is named after, because her story is exactly why this matters. Nancy Grace Roman joined NASA in 1959. Think about that for a second. 1959, before the moon landing, before the space shuttle, before any of this existed. She became NASA's first chief of astronomy, the first woman to hold an executive position at NASA. She fought, and built the case for a space-based telescope at a time when most people thought it was science fiction. And then she lived long enough to see the Hubble Space Telescope launch in 1990, the telescope she helped make possible. She passed away in 2018, but in 2020 NASA gave her the highest honor they could. They named their most powerful telescope ever after her, the Roman Space Telescope. This is her legacy, and it is extraordinary. So, what actually is the Roman Space Telescope, and why is everyone in the astronomy world losing their minds right now? Let me break it down simply. You know the James Webb, the one with those incredible deep field images. Webb has a field of view, meaning the area of sky it can see. At one time roughly the size of a grain of sand held at arm's length. A grain of sand. Roman has a field of view 100 times larger. Not 100% larger, 100 times. That means in the time it takes Webb to photograph one tiny patch of sky, Roman photographs 100 patches. But it gets better. Roman has a 2.4 meter mirror the same size as Hubble. But while Hubble could only take narrow focus shots, Roman's cameras so wide that one single Roman image would contain millions of galaxies. Not one galaxy, millions, in a single frame. NASA estimates that Roman will map the largest 3D map of the universe ever created, covering more than 2 billion galaxies. Let that number sit for a moment. 2 billion galaxies, each one containing hundreds of billions of stars. And we are going to see all of them. Here is the part that honestly kept me up at night researching this video. What is Roman actually going to discover? Scientists have given us 3 main targets, and each one is more mind-bending than the last. Target number 1 is dark matter and dark energy. Here is something most people do not know. Everything you have ever seen, every star, planet, galaxy, nebula, every atom in your body, all of that makes up only 5% of the universe. 5%. The other 95% is something we cannot see, cannot touch, and do not fully understand. We call it dark matter and dark energy. Dark matter holds galaxies together. Without it, stars would fly apart. But we have never directly observed it. Dark energy is even stranger. It is a force that is making the universe expand faster and faster over time. We have no idea what it is. Roman will study how billions of galaxies are distributed across space, And from those patterns it will map where dark matter is hiding. For the first time ever we might understand what makes up 95% of everything that exists. Target number 2 is exoplanets and the search for life. Roman will use a technique called gravitational microlensing. When a massive object passes between us and a distant star, its gravity bends and magnifies the star's light like a cosmic magnifying glass. If that object has planets orbiting it, we can detect them. Roman is expected to discover thousands of new exoplanets using this technique, including Earth-sized planets in the habitable zone of their stars. The habitable zone, the Goldilocks zone, the distance from a star where liquid water can exist, where life as we know it could exist. Roman will not tell us if there is life out there, but it will tell us where to look. And that list could be very, very long. Target number 3 is supernovae and the death of stars. Every few decades, a massive star reaches the end of its life and explodes in an event so bright it can outshine an entire galaxy. A supernova. Roman will observe thousands of these explosions happening across billions of light years. And why does that matter? Because supernovae are what scientists call standard candles. They always explode with the same brightness, which means we can use them to measure exact distances across the cosmos. By tracking thousands of them, Roman will build the most precise map of the universe's expansion in history, which means we will finally know if dark energy is constant or if it is changing. And if it is changing, that rewrites cosmology entirely. Let me put this in perspective with a simple comparison. Hubble launched in 1990 with a 2.4-meter mirror and a narrow field of view, and it changed astronomy forever. James Webb launched in 2021 with a 6.5-meter mirror and can see infrared light back 13.6 billion years, and it redefined what we know about the early universe. Roman launches in 2027 with a 2.4-meter mirror, but its camera has 18 detectors, meaning its field of view makes Webb look like a peephole. If Webb is a sniper rifle, precise, focused, extraordinary depth, Roman is a wide-angle lens, the size of a football field. They are not competing, they are complementary. But when Roman comes online and starts producing images, the science that comes out of it will be unlike anything we have ever processed before. We are talking about datasets so large that scientists will need AI systems just to analyze them. Petabytes of astronomical data every single day. You might be thinking, okay, this is fascinating, but what does it have to do with me? Here is what I want you to really absorb. Right now in 2026, you are alive at the most extraordinary moment in the history of human curiosity. We have a telescope staring into the heart of the early universe. We have another one, Roman, about to map billions of galaxies. We are genuinely on the edge of answering questions that humans have asked since we first looked up at the night sky. Are we alone? What is the universe made of? How does it end? Roman will not answer all of those questions, but it will bring us closer than any generation before us has ever been. And you right now are watching it happen in real time. That is not a small thing. When Roman launches and sends back its first images, I want you to remember this video, because those images are going to make your jaw drop. And when they do, share them with someone who needs to be reminded that the universe is enormous and beautiful and absolutely worth exploring. If you want to be the first to see Roman's launch coverage and the first images it sends back, subscribe right now and hit the bell. I cover every major space story the moment it breaks. No fluff, just the science that actually matters. See you in the next one.